Oh, man, let's get that.
That's the magic happening right there.
Let's get that frothing. What's up? Making a coffee at Beans and Boards. Yeah, I'll let you take that over.
Cool,
We've got some comments coming in.
What's good, fam? We're going live at Beans and Boards right now. We're in the UK, drinking Americanos. We're going to be talking with the Jack Attack about his business, running a coffee shop, selling skateboards, and just doing the damn thing. Thank you.
My pleasure.
It's about my 4th cup of coffee, folks. We're in for a good podcast here.
We're gonna be up all night talking.
So let's rock and roll. Let's get this microphone booted up. Should be good to go. And here we go. So Colby No coming in with the Reup show. I'm here with Jack, and we're in the Beans and Boards coffee shop in the UK. Jack's a small business owner. I rolled up in this coffee shop and said, "What's up?" Like a week ago.
Yeah.
And Jack's been super cool. Makes a fire ass cup of coffee. That be hitting right now. And so here we are. We're just gonna talk about business, if that's cool.
Yeah. Chat about anything you like.
Word, business, skating, and flip life, which is
which I need to learn a little bit about as well, actually.
Word. I mean, you're flipping skateboards.
I'm flipping. Yeah, true. Yeah.
You're kick flipping.
Yeah.
You know, when I skated, I landed 1 kickflip.
Hey, that's one more than a lot of people, to be fair.
I mean, I landed 1, and I could drop into the the big 25-foot.
The verts, the big ones.
Yeah, I remember I dropped in that a few times at Skate Street, Ventura, California.
Oh.
It was a sick skate park back in the day. But then this is just such a bummer. I broke my arm on the tiny half pipe.
Oh, that's you've been dropping the big one and then you get the small one.
And I hear that a lot of people do get injured that way.
Yeah, literally. I mean, I've broken most of my boards from simple flat ground tricks. You can jump down a stair set for hours and hours, not snap your board, then all of a sudden you try a kickflip on the flat ground and your foot goes straight through it. Or like my mate recently who broke 3 bones in his ankle just from ollieing on flat. Yeah, literally just a normal ollie, and just because he wasn't really thinking about it, his foot come off the front, went underneath the board, and then snapped in 3 places. So
it be like that sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's life, though, isn't it? Just when you're not concentrating, it all goes wrong.
Word. So let's talk about who you are. You grew up around here?
Yes, I grew up in Southampton, which is a little town down the road.
Yeah.
And born and bred there, skated there my whole life. Worked in a local skate shop in Southampton from the age of 15.
Yeah.
And then turned 21 and sort of got the opportunity to open up my own skate shop. So I took the...
When was that?
Took the opportunity. So that was 3 years ago now.
Right here.
3.5 years ago. So this is the first unit, the first one, and I was initially in Southampton. So going off on a tangent slightly, skateboard shops.
Yeah, go off on
I will do. They pop up in each individual town. So each town in the UK.
Are you the only one holding it down right now?
Yeah, only one in Winchester, and I'm the only one allowed in Winchester.
For real?
Yeah. So distributors in the UK, they strictly say that if somebody is already selling skate stuff in this town, then no one else is allowed to sell skate stuff in that town.
But obviously not in a big town like London.
In London, even so, it's in Birmingham. There's a few. There might be 2 places like Manchester, Birmingham. Yeah, they might have 2, but just because there's such a vast distance between them both. Whereas from one side of Manchester to the other is vast, so it's not as bad. So you're not as on each other's toes. Whereas if someone was to try and open up a skate shop here, the guys that I buy my boards from and the trucks and the wheels, they'd say, look, we're already supplying to this unit, so you've got to find another town to go to.
Makes sense.
It stops competition, and so it's a very good way of doing it. So I wanted to open up in my hometown, but there was already a skate shop there. And I was familiar with Winchester because I've grown up around near the area, and I skated the park here. So took the opportunity because they were lacking a skate shop. So so that's why we're here.
That's pretty cool. That you've got. I mean, you recognize the market demand. Was the park here? Or?
The park was here, yeah. So there was actually a skate shop in Winchester about 5 years ago before the park got built, and the dude was looking to sort of obviously establish himself here, but with no skate park, there was not a good skate scene. So he heard a rumour that the skate park was going to get built. So he stayed here, waiting for this park, which never arrived. And then after a couple of years of doing it, he had to pack it in and just close the doors. And then about 6 months later, the skate park started getting built. And he just missed out on that market, just missed out. If he'd held out for a little bit, it would have sort of gone all right for him. And then about 2 years after that, I swooped in and came in.
That reminds me, because before we turned the cameras on, we were chatting about books, and I read this last book, Before the Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, by Mark Manson. The last book before that blew my mind. And dude, the books that blow your mind.
That's like the one I'm reading at the moment. If
it's not gonna blow your mind, just put it down.
Literally, watch a film.
But Think and Grow Rich was fantastic.
Think and Grow Rich. Check that out.
That one's a classic. And he talks about, I think it was Andrew Carnegie that he just missed out on a business deal, and then it basically motivated him to kick on, to establish his. God,
the amount of people that would have done that. I mean, you hear the most about that in sort of music, don't you? Artists or managers missing out on artists just before they blow up and go good. But I felt a little bit like a vulture in a casino, just waiting for that person to spend all their money on the fruity, and then I come on in and take the winnings.
I feel that. So this is you're pretty much putting your heart and soul into this.
This is my baby. This is my baby.
That's cool.
It's everything. So
And so I hopped off the train, walked by, saw a cool little shop, and I wasn't sure really what was going on in here. I thought obviously it's a skate shop, but then put it together, beans and boards, the coffee thing. I've never seen anybody mix coffee and
it's just one of those things that hasn't really been done. I think there might be one other place in the UK that does it, down in Cornwall. If you've been down that far down,
I have.
So it's beautiful down there. It's big for surfing and skating.
Come to find out, the UK has nice beaches.
Yeah, we do have nice beaches.
I didn't know that.
Just down the bottom. But we do have some alright beaches.
Bournemouth's cool.
Bournemouth. That's alright. That gets absolutely packed with people when it's sunny there.
It does.
That was actually a place where there used to be something sort of similar to this. It was more of a cafe which was themed with skateboards, but I don't think anyone's really done the skateboard sales with clothes, blah blah blah, with also the coffee side of things. So,
And but you really are putting skating with coffee,
retail and cafe combined.
You're he's over here fixing up brand new decks, putting the grip tape on the deck and fixing skateboards and then making coffee.
From one end of the shop to the other.
That's and you've got loyal customers.
The customers are the most they're incredible. The one thing with skate shops especially that you don't get with any other shop is that loyalty from a customer, and it's again another reason why I go back to stores not having not having more than one park, because the skate shop is like the hub for skateboarders. It's like almost like a social club or a football team that you support in your city, or someone where you just, that's who you go, that's who you support. So we're supporting the skaters, and the skaters are supporting us, because they want a place that they can go and hang out, and they can watch a skate DVD, and they can just get all their stuff from there. And then it's almost like a place to warm up before they go to the park. Which is another reason why we got the coffee, because people love chilling in the skate shop. People also love chilling with a coffee. So as we're doing right now.
Cheers.
So it's one of those things where it just seemed like the perfect combination.
Yeah.
Customers.
They do go well together.
Yeah, they do, right?
And I don't skate anymore, but I'm thinking about
getting back on it.
I'm thinking about getting
You can only stare at a skateboard for so long without wanting to ride it.
I mean, I'm fitting into the Butters.
Yeah, the Butters boards.
That one right there.
Yeah, local brand.
Shop them out.
Yeah. Butters Apparel is a local brand from Andover, a little brand up the road. So there's a few guys doing their thing, which is
and they've got honeybees. They've got let me show you.
Yeah, that can.
I like this design a lot. The honeybees and all that, but I mean, it's just as much art as it is a sport, isn't it?
It is. I mean, that's the thing with skateboarding. There's so many different cultures within it, and so many different aspects you can go down. I mean, I've got about 15 boards at home that I will never skate, that are just on the wall because I love the artwork on it. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, really.
Do you feel like there needs to be a place for skaters to go besides street skating?
Yeah, because there isn't clubs like with any other sport. There isn't a club that you can join. Mm. There isn't a facility really that you can go to and say, I'm going here every Wednesday night to train and to practice and to be a part of a team, because it's not a team sport. So without a skate park and a skate shop, most cities won't have skaters. It's pretty simple. So you do need that place, and that's why a skate shop's so good, because it's almost that social club for the skaters. But the one thing we don't have in the UK in an abundance is indoor skate parks, and we've got the worst weather known to man, and we need indoor parks. So that's one thing that definitely could help with a place for skaters to go. Do you feel like,
because I've been out the game for a while, I'm coming in here all like dorky, wearing a polo, and straight up, that's when I walked up in a skate shop. I grew up with skaters. I skated when I was really young.
Yeah.
But I know how skate culture gets insulated.
Yeah.
It gets real insulated.
It does, yeah.
And then the whole locals only thing, which
there's that, yeah.
Which is cool. But it's also it can be unfriendly.
Yeah, definitely. Right? Yeah, definitely. That's one thing. But I guess you get it in a lot of different things.
Which leads me to the question: do you think they get a bad rap?
Yeah, I think they do, because I've always been a great believer in just sort of like live and let live, and a lot of people they do get very sort of possessive over skateboarding. And I think, but people get it with anything that they love, really. You do get quite possessive, so you don't like outsiders coming in and ruining what you've put so much effort into.
Right.
But usually the only way people can ruin it is by maybe bringing their own fashion sense. So like, you can have a skateboarder who's got big baggy clothes or baggy jeans and blah, blah, blah. And he'll look at you, for example, in your polo and think, well, you're not a skateboarder, you're wearing a polo. And
he'd be right.
He'd be right, but he'd also be crazy, because like, why should you care if someone's wearing the wrong or the right thing? What matters is they're on a skateboard and they've got the same love for the sport as you do. Whether they're not sticking to the rules of how it's done, but also things evolve, things change. I think if you go back to when you were skating, when you started, there would have been very clear fashion statements with skateboarding. You go through the decades, and like the 90s it was all baggy clothes, you go back to the 80s and it was sort of like socks pulled all the way up and a little bit more mesh. Whereas nowadays, I mean, you've got gangster skaters, you've got rocker skaters, you've got jock skaters, you've got skaters from all over the place, and you could never tell really who's a skater and who's not.
It's evolved
Massively, which is nothing but good for the sport. Like, the more people that do it, the better.
And so obviously you don't want to make this a skaters only business, because you'd be selling less coffee.
Well, exactly, and that's another reason why I got the coffee. To make sure that people like yourself come in, and you don't think, if I don't have a skateboard, they're going to turn me down.
Word.
That's not the way.
Word. And I'm sure it's all, you probably want to have I'm sure most people in the community would probably agree that they want to have like they want to be friendly.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it is just being friendly and being open. Most skateboarders are. Like,
Skateboarding's not a crime.
It's not a crime, nah. But being bad is a crime. Not being nice is a crime.
Is it?
Be nice.
Word.
Not officially, but you just got to be nice, isn't it? It's nice to be nice.
Word.
And
it's nice to be nice. Write that down.
Yeah, write that down. It's nice to be nice.
And I mean, everybody seemed super cool. I don't know if it's a British thing.
I mean, yeah.
Most British people are pretty cool.
Yeah, we're pretty cool. But that's the thing. But then again, I think it's genuinely skateboarders. I think that if you got a bunch of skateboarders from America, from England, from Europe, like Spain, or you go down to Brazil or Czech Republic, all over the place. If you get them in the same place, they're all going to be friendly with each other because they're all part of this bigger thing, this whole bigger thing. And but obviously the English people are polite as well.
Most of them, anyways.
Most of them, yeah. Not me.
So I wrote some extra questions down, but I just wanted to kick it, like I said. Super casual. Like respect to how you're running your business. I think it's super cool.
Thank you.
Mixing culture with coffee.
Yeah.
And do you even make tea?
Okay, we've got tea. Yeah, got to have an English breakfast tea. Yeah, of course.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I rolled up in here and got a cup of coffee, which cost me $2. Mm-hmm. And your marketing, I got a sticker, and I mean that's cool.
Yeah.
You send people off, and you're and
just chatting to people, getting involved. I mean, there's not many businesses where you can go in and you can instantly have a relationship with the owner of the business. You're usually speaking to somebody who works for the business, sort of thing. So to actually sort of come in and just chat to the owner, chat to the top, and I don't see myself as a CEO or anything like that. Like again, I'm for the people. And,
but you got other people that work with you sometimes?
Yeah, I've got other people that work. We've got skaters that skate for the shop, so they'll help out in the shop every now and again, and they go out and represent. They get footage for Instagram, and they'll sort of represent the shop in that way. But in terms of being like the face of the shop, I guess I pride myself on that quite a lot. So,
dude, that's awesome. Do you drink too much coffee?
I did drink too much coffee, and then I slowed it up. I was starting to get like anxiety from too much of it, which can happen.
Sips coffee.
Yeah, sips of coffee. He says that. A nice 5 o'clock coffee. Yeah, this is a prop more so than anything.
Word. So I don't know. Any pro tips like for somebody that either wants to start something like this?
To start something like this, I mean, the one thing that I can say is that you do have to. I'm a believer, and if you want to make something your all, you have to really make it your all. And that, when I say that, I mean you need to quit anything else you were doing and just make that your sole focus, because all in, because you're never going to fully succeed at it if it's not your top priority.
I agree with that 100%.
And that's probably the hardest thing with starting your own business, because you do have to sacrifice so much, but it is hopefully only for the short term, and then gradually it'll be worth it, and then they can sail our yacht into the sunset at the age of 40 and have no worries.
Word. And that's awesome. The sacrifices that you've made.
Yeah, I think again that you say sacrifices, and it might sound a little bit silly, but I mean I was 22 when I started it, so a lot of 22-year-olds weren't worrying about a lot, because it was just you're 22, you're young, you've got probably got a full-time job or a part-time job, maybe still living at home, and you're still just sort of content in your life and not having too many responsibilities. You know it's coming, but it's not come yet. So to do that at 22 years old and realise that I really have to work every day now, because otherwise I won't have any money, is the reality. And so that's the sacrifices. But again, I think also the other thing is you've got to make sure that you really have knowledge on what you're doing as well. Don't be naive and think that you can go and do something because it's going to make money or because you've seen other people do it and it's made them money. You've got to actually have a passion about it. To a certain extent, you've got to have knowledge about it because, again, it's going to take you a lot longer.
I think that's a major point, just because if that's your passion, if that's what you actually enjoy and love, it's going to make that work somewhat enjoyable versus just work and I mean, I don't even know how to put it other than how you put it, which is if you have the passion for it, then do it. And
like you say, with enjoyment, if you don't enjoy it, then you're not gonna keep doing it.
How sustainable is that?
Yeah, and there's also a thin balance, a thin line, between enjoying it and making it business, because you need to mix pleasure and business together. It does need to be enjoyable. Otherwise,
it's a balance. It's a balance, because you're not in here just kicking it. You are in business.
Exactly. To people coming in, it looks like I'm just sort of chilling in a skate shop and I've got it good and I can relax and put my feet up and make coffee and make skateboards and watch skating. But obviously, there's a lot in the background to that. So that's why I say you've got to make sure that you're aware that you're going to be doing something that takes a lot of work, a lot of sacrifice. But if you're doing it because you enjoy it and it's something that you're passionate about, that's what makes that process easier. So yeah, I think that makes sense.
I dig that, and I think that's a huge takeaway, which is, what you invest in on a personal level, but then putting business together with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of where the magic happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, right in between business and pleasure.
Word. And I don't know, man. I'm just stoked.
Yeah,
I'm just stoked on the vibe, coffee, and sport, and culture.
Just another person trying to make his way, right? Just like yourself.
Word. And risking it for, like, taking a risk and strategizing that, like, we're all getting older. I'm sure that anybody who opens a business sacrificing, making the sacrifices that it takes. I don't know any business that doesn't require some sacrifice.
No.
If you're in business for yourself or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're in business for yourself, it is. Yeah, you do have to make sacrifices, but you do that because.
Why though?
I guess I have an answer for that, I guess to be an entrepreneur, which is what we are, you need to have that risk-taking factor. You need to be a risk taker. And one of the biggest risks is making sacrifices. Things when you're comfortable, it's making yourself uncomfortable. And that's not an easy thing to do.
That's where the growth.
And that's where it is. Yeah, and that's that initial thing of getting into it. Yeah, exactly that. And I think that to be an entrepreneur, you do need to be a risk taker. So people who are comfortable in just working 9 to 5, coming home, just closing the shop door, and that's it. That's their work day done. They know they're getting their wage packet through. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. There's just the slightest, because that is the way to. That's the way to survive, and you've got to look after your family and yourself and everything else. So, but to make those sacrifices, you need to take a risk, and only an entrepreneur is going to take that risk. That's that.
The reason I take the risk, and I'm pretty sure you'd agree with me, the reason why is not just because I want to benefit myself, but I want to benefit the people around me.
100%, yeah.
So that makes the risk worth taking.
Yeah,
for me, anyways.
Definitely.
That, and it's not just about money, is it?
No, not at all. No, if it was about money, we wouldn't do it.
not to begin with. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't pay off for a long time.
Exactly that. Exactly, and that's it. So I say that's that.
So if it's not the money, besides the culture, of course, but like why? For me, it's time. It's time and energy. How I spend my time and energy. I like taking the risk. I like the choice of it, that I'm taking this risk because I want to take that risk.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a cool way to look at it. I've never thought of it like that, because I think
it's life force energy.
Yeah, right? It is. Yeah. Definitely.
Where are you going to put your energy? And so
putting energy into something that you're choosing to put your energy into, not somebody else, and that's what working for somebody else is. It's putting your energy into something for someone else, and that's one of the biggest kicks up the ass that I had, was working for someone else and thinking, actually, I've got a vast amount of knowledge on this industry. I'm working in a skate shop, and I actually got to a point, without sounding too boastful, I got to a point where I felt like I was actually they needed me more than I needed them, because without me in that shop, they didn't have that knowledge.
By definition, fam, if you're working for somebody, they're getting more value than they're paying you.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with working for anybody, and they're not evil or immoral. It's just a trade-off.
Yeah,
it's a trade-off. You're getting security of a guaranteed payment.
Yeah,
they're getting more value from putting you to work, and
exactly that. Yeah,
and that's the deal. But I think, it's pretty cool when you realize that you've got your own value.
Exactly, and that is exactly it. You do. Everyone has their own value, and that's the thing. And you can do that. And I think, but at the same time, again, going back to saying it's not wrong working for somebody else. It's also because at the end of the day, if every person was an entrepreneur, then this world wouldn't work the way it is. It takes 90% of people working, 10% of people to be the person that hires the people. And if it was the other way around, if 90% of us were entrepreneurs and 10% of us were workers.
And right now, like that Gary Vee character that I pointed out, he's pointing out that entrepreneurship is cool right now. And it ain't cool, and maybe maybe next time if we do another one of these, we can talk. Yeah, when we do, let's do that. The economy it's been going good, especially in the States. I'm not too familiar with.
I mean, we're going through some Brexit stuff at the moment, but
all kinds
a whole other story.
There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on.
Yeah.
Not to say that that's crazy, because I'm. I think it's complicated.
It is.
But entrepreneurship is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But really, what people don't see behind the Instagram and behind all the advertisements, and people are advertising a certain lifestyle for entrepreneurship, and it's just not real to the work that's
very, very, very true. Yeah.
They're making it look easy, right?
Yeah, definitely, because they can pick and choose what to make, how to make it look.
But facts, most entrepreneurs fail.
That's a fact. I think it's 1 in 2. I know in the UK, it's 1 in 2 businesses fail in the first 2 years or first year. I think that rises to, I'm not sure the exact figure, but I think percentage is by the second year, 90% of businesses fail. And
that's and to hit on your point of you gotta love it. And I think the reason for that is because you're gonna fail.
And that's exactly what I've been saying to people. For a lot of the time, people assume that business has failed within its first year because they've gone bankrupt, because they've spent all their money and they don't have any left. But I think actually the majority of the time is because that person has just given up. And that's just the fact of the matter, because they gave up. That's it. And it's as simple as that.
That's food for thought I'm always thinking about that. My friend, dude, it's been super cool meeting you. Thanks for letting me come through with the microphone and the camera.